Technical malfunctions. We always.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we get along great when we're in public together. When I met you at Fan Expo, but the first interview I ever did with you, the recorder didn't work. PJ Paul worked. PJ Phil worked. But for some reason, not you, the man with the golden voice who's known the most for talking of the three of them.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, I remember you contacting me and going, Dan, you're never going to believe this. The interview I did with you, we can't even hear you, and I don't know how to do anything about it. So let's just do another interview. And I'm pretty easygoing.
That's true.
Guy. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And you know what? It was amazing. The last interview that we did, the two-piecer, it was a two-parter. And I assume it's still up on Yumi and YTV, or people, told you to take it down. Nonetheless, no, it had so much reaction. I couldn't believe how many people saw it. So you know what? They love you, and maybe one day you'll be on YTV.
That would be really cool.
I think it would be.
Okay.
I think you're the perfect choice.
That's true. So we got a weird delay thing going on right now, Dan. But I think the best thing to do as we kill some time is you have an amazing history with the Backstreet Boys. Could you tell me how you met the lads? I fix my sound.
Okay, it was so random. I was doing radio and television at the same time. I was doing radio in Toronto and doing the hit list. And basically, we were told about this band that was huge in Germany, but also that they were doing really, really well in Quebec, of all places. And so what they did was the record company put us on airplanes, and we all flew out to Quebec to go see them in concert. And it turned out that we all got along incredibly well. We spent a couple days together, and they ended up coming to the hit list in Toronto after we saw their concert and hung out with them. And it was funny because there were a couple of ladies that had sent us a note saying, you need to know about this band. They're so great. Everybody loves them over in Europe, and Canada doesn't know anything about them except for Quebec. So we put them on the set and explained that, hey, it was Alana and Jen, I think it was, that had told us. And they're still on my Facebook, which is, to this day, is still crazy. And we put them on the show, and then what happened was we had hid the Backstreet Boys, who had come to Toronto, on set. So that what would happen is that when they told us about them, I surprised them and go, oh, well, they just happen to be here. And so they came out and introduced themselves, and they lost their minds, and then they got to hang out with them. And I mean, as a fan thing, that would have been ridiculously cool. We did a couple of things with Backstreet Boys together numerous times with concerts and introducing the concerts and taking fans backstage and stuff like that. One of the most fun times with Backstreet was over in Europe. We went to Utrecht in Holland, and we ended up going to their concert there. And if I'm not correct, and I may be wrong, but I recall that Canadian dance pop singer MJ may have been on the opening bill. So it was kind of cool to have a piece of Canada there with us as well. I'm almost positive, because she was dating Howie, I think, at the time, or something along those lines. Wow. Anyway, nonetheless, we had a great time in Utrecht, Holland together, and it was so much fun. And we took fans over with us to Holland to go see the Backstreet Boys, and it was a lot of fun. And to this day, we're still buds, as you know, still good friends. And it was funny, when we went to Vegas last year, around Valentine's it was, we flew down. WestJet was delayed dramatically, and we were like, literally got to the hotel and rushed to the Uber, and then the Uber took us to the venue at Hard Rock, and the guys actually held the concert, if you can believe that, held the concert waiting for us to get there so that we would be able to see the show. And they were really great about it. And then we got a chance to hang out and meet all their babies and their kids and their wives, and it was really cool. It's really nice to have that connection still to this day. I kind of made that story really long. Dan, that's the best thing, is that when I cut away from you, I'm just in the background dealing with all the technical stuff, like,
and it's a great working relationship, man. It's almost like I'm like, Dan, please tell the most long-winded story possible.
Yeah, okay.
But seriously, let's get back to kidding aside. Let's get back to this. That is so amazing that they've had this relationship with you for all these years. I mean, seriously.
Well, here, it's because when good people connect, you know what it's like when you meet people who are real people, and despite all the huge amount of success that they've had, they're still real good guys, real good people. Still check in, still say hi. How you doing? How you keeping in these times? And the same with NSYNC. I think that's really cool that they do as well. And it was funny the other day. I posted a really old picture of NSYNC, and I heard from a couple of them that were like, "Dude, that's so old! Holy crap! Was that like the first time we met?" And I think that's really cool because they realize that there's a connection there still too, and that I appreciate what they did for my career, and vice versa. That they're still awesome like that. So when I hear from Justin or somebody like Joey or Chris or whoever, or Lance or I haven't heard from JC in a while. And here's the weird thing. I actually put this out the other day, and I'm going to call NSYNC out on this because Backstreet were amazing. They gave me a triple diamond award, and I have it on the wall in my office to this day. I got nothing from NSYNC, and we were a big part of them. I interviewed them so many times, and anyway, and still keep in contact. But dudes never gave me an award, ever. Anyway, no, I'm just picking on them. But nonetheless, really still great guys. And that's a funny thing that I find is with so many of the artists have stayed in touch or kept in touch, and that really blows me away because it was funny. I posted a picture of me with Destiny's Child recently, and
we got
Michelle
one of those.
and Kelly.
We got one. We got
Oh,
a
you
whole
do?
yeah, we got a whole bunch of those. Okay, we're showing it now. All right, cool. Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it was so cool because I had posted a really old picture of us, and I think it was I don't know if you have the one with Beyonce and I on stage together, but her singing to me, and she I can't remember which song it was. Was it Bills, 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 or I can't remember. Anyway, nonetheless, and they had pulled me on stage, which is still, to this day, to think, oh my God, they grabbed you and pulled you on stage, and I just, to this day, can't believe that I get a message from Kelly going, oh my God, that's so funny. Or there was a video recently that I put out of a bunch of, and I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but it was a bunch of old interview clips from the hit list, and because I had found 2 full boxes of about 50 videotapes of the hit list show, and so I was like, oh man, I need to dump some of these down, and then I found my old demo which had all these clips from all these different celebrities on it. And so what happened is I posted it and I tagged every single one of them, from Bon Jovi to Take That to Mariah Carey to all these people, just to see if they'd notice it. And so it was so funny to go through, and as I had tagged it on my story on Instagram, by the way, if you want to follow me on social media, at Twitter or on Instagram, at Tarzan Dan, and you can type in Tarzan Dan in Facebook, and I think I have like 4 friend positions left. But anyway, but the thing is that it was cool to see who had checked it out, and then Spinderella from Salt and Peppa actually sent me a note and said, oh my God, that's so hilarious, because she had wiped her nose on my sleeve during an interview, and because she had a runny nose and had no Kleenex, so I just stuck my arm out. And so I think that's the beauty of the relationship that a lot of the celebrities and I were fortunate enough to have, is that we're kind of all coming up and not really knowing exactly what we were doing at the time, but we were having a lot of fun doing it. And I think that was the best part about YTV, was that just such wonderful personalities and amazing people. I just reconnected with Ashna the other day.
Oh,
and we were going on and on and on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a sweetheart. She has a production company now down in LA. She's doing so well. And we just, it's like, hey, how have you been? What's been going on? I mean, I can't even tell you the last time we talked. So it's really, really cool to reconnect. And these people are generally if you met any of them, would be the type of people that if you met them on the street, they would talk to you and say hi, because that's the kind of people we are, and nobody's really changed in that respect, and I love that. So you know, I mean, I don't know if Scott from Uh-Oh still feeds his cat treats all the time. It makes it jump really high, but I saw it on the commercial, so it must be true. Anyway, but Scott's a great guy. All of us still keep in contact. Phil the other day posted something. PJ Phil, you know, love that guy to bits, and we've been friends since day one of me at YTV, and it's just so cool to still be friends. And he had posted something a little while ago just about how he had auditioned for the hit list and not gotten it, but I got it, and then he was able to, because he had also been in for an audition, he also had an opportunity to get a show as well, and the whole thing was snit and everything, and I thought that was so wonderful that, you know, he didn't hate my guts because I got the part, or I got the TV show over him, and I was like, oh no, is he gonna hate? But you know, like True Testament, when we came to Toronto for the Comic Expo or the Comic Con or Comic whatever it was,
Fan Expo. Yeah.
Fan Expo, the travesty of all travesty. Were you there when we did the round, or the fan thing, the Q&A?
Yes, I was.
See that?
I was, of course.
How crazy was that, right?
It
like
was.
The entire room was packed. It was standing room only. The people were nuts, and people were so funny. I will never forget the fact that we were like, okay, so of the three of us, it was me, Phil, and Paul, right? And we were like, who's going to swear first? And everybody's like, no, Dan will never swear. So, of course, what do you think I did? So, you know, like, I mean, that's the, and there was a little kid in the front row with his dad. And I was like, and the dad was like laughing his butt off. And I'm like, cover your ears. I didn't say that. And then anyway.
Well, Phil was telling some very funny, very Phil Guerrero
We always have a good
stories.
time when we see each other, when we get together, or it's like, hey, if you're going to be in town, if we're gonna be in town, let's make sure that we connect if we can. And so it's really, there's a lot of, it was a really great creative time and a lot of fun, and still to this day YTV is awesome.
Absolutely.
But there was something really, really cool about YTV back then, that there were people there that knew what they were doing, and then they let the crazy people who didn't have any idea what they were doing be on TV, which was even better. So.
That was great. Well, you know, Dan, you're always a consummate professional. You have the speaking ability of the Flash. Like, I watch old clips, and you speak so fast and so clearly. I am so jealous of your ability to pronounce words. But we have first of all, I think Nesbitt over here, my puppet companion.
Hi, Nesbitt.
Well, hello there.
I think Nesbitt has a couple of questions about them Backstreet Boys.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Well, first of all, Tarzan Dan, I can't believe how kind you are. No wonder you're a sort of campfire for all these people, bringing everybody together. My question is about music and the Backstreet Boys. Every wedding I've been to, people lose their minds when Backstreet's Back comes on.
Right, okay.
Do you know what do you have a favorite Backstreet Boys song?
Do I have a favorite Backstreet Boys song? Well, everybody likes, you know, I love it.
Oh, yes, I Want It That Way. I love
that
song, yes.
Yeah, but to me, Quit Playing Games with My Heart was always my favorite. I don't know why. I just liked it musically, but I also loved the song The Call. I thought that was really, really cool. Going to a place nearby, gotta go. You know, that was one of my favorite songs. And even to go back and everybody move to the music.
Like, everybody, yes.
Yeah, so I like, you know, like everybody's Backstreet Back is pretty much the one that everybody, it's a go-to, right? Because
I've never seen
kind of
people,
one of those staples.
They just lose their minds. And I also wanted to know.
They probably didn't have minds to begin with, so that's, you know, that's probably why.
I also was curious, because you've spent some time with the boys, was one of them more of a jokester that played pranks, or was the one more serious?
The guys like to really make Nick's life miserable, which isn't a bad thing. not that it was ever a bad thing, and I mean to this day, all five of them love each other to bits. They're still very close. Hang on, where's my camera lens here? So my arm was gonna fall off from holding my phone. So anyway, yeah, Nick. They would take the Mickey with Nick all the time. That was just one of those things. But at the same time, everybody would pull pranks, but Nick was usually the brunt of it, and it was usually going to be AJ or Brian pulling it. So, there's a couple of different times I can remember that I can't relive for you, but things that we never let go over all these years. So. Those will stay in the inner circle because they're funny, and they're funny to us. You probably wouldn't understand it necessarily, outside of maybe a pair of underwear that somebody might have taken off after they got off stage in the quick change and had a big brown streak.
Oh, my good golly.
I won't say who. Yeah, but that person was called Skid for a long time.
Oh, that's a funny story. I like that.
Oh my goodness, Dan, we cannot do this video without acknowledging your public. And Karen Dreiss, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. She says St. Catharines loves you.
Oh, thank you, St. Catharines. Just outside of Toronto. Love that place. On your way to, I have family in Windsor, so we always kind of boot through St. Catharines on the way.
Oh, they got that Beechwood Donuts. Beechwood Donuts. I like that.
Oh, yeah. Right? Exactly. So, hey, next time, maybe we'll all go to St. Catharines for Beechwood Donuts next time.
Oh, sign me up for yes, please.
Okay. All right.
For yes.
Karen's also saying she said met you backstage with BSB years ago. So that's really fun.
Wow. That's very, very cool.
Yeah, that's small.
Always, if you have a picture from back then, if anybody has a picture from back then, definitely inbox me on Instagram, and like I said, you can find me at Tarzan Dan, and send me a picture. If you have pictures of me with celebrities, or if you have pictures of me and you guys, or all of us together, or whatever, feel free to it doesn't have to just be Backstreet. It can be anybody. Feel free to toss it into my inbox, and I'll write you back. I'm easy going. I'm chill like that. So.
I was curious as well, if I may. What's the origin of your name, Tarzan Dan? How'd you come up with that?
Tarzan Dan. Oh my God. Okay, so as you can see in the background, I'm in the studio right now. I'm at Q107. I just finished my radio shift. I do the afternoon show here at Q107, and it is the sister station of Q107 in Toronto, and the sister station of Rock 101 in Vancouver. And anyway, I here in Calgary. How I ended up back here, I'll never know. But when I was in Calgary as a young guy, starting in radio and working at a radio station called AM 106, we were all out, hanging out, having a good time, out at a club. And literally, I had just said, hey, you know what, we were meeting people and stuff like that, and there was one particular girl, and she goes, oh, your show's untamed, it's like a jungle. And I said, oh, really? What's in the jungle? And she goes, lions and tigers and cheetahs. And I went, hey, Tarzan Dan, nice to meet you. How you doing?
Oh.
And it was just, and that was it. It was just me joking around. Hold on, I got my earphone. A radio station called AM 106. Hang on a sec, sorry. And so what happened is I go in the next day to do my radio show, and Andrei Mazanov, rest in peace, such a great guy. He was the guy who said, you know what, dude, we're changing your name on the radio. That Tarzan Dan name is going to stick. And so he introduced me as Tarzan Dan coming up next on the radio, and sure enough, don't you know, I decided to stick with it, and it became a career name. So
wow.
Really cool.
It's very catchy, and it puts you in a good mood, almost like there's fun around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say I'm a stick in the mud.
No.
Exactly. No, that's smart business.
No, it says you're hanging from trees. Yep.
That's it. Well, here's the thing. I figured I need a name that looks or that sounds like it could be like the show, because radio isn't visual, right? And now we live in a visual medium on so many levels, so often. But the thing is that when you look at radio is the theater of the mind. And so I thought, well, how do I portray that this show is going to be crazy and wild and nuts and kooky? And sure enough, Tarzan Dan became all that without the long hair and the muscles and the loincloth, because everybody could be spared that.
Okay, Dan. I just definitely got to. There's so many people out here who just are so happy you're talking to them.
Hi guys.
A buddy of mine, Jared Feldstein, asked a really cool question. What was it like driving Aaron Carter right after he got his license? And was he a good driver?
Did I ever drive Aaron Carter? I don't think I drove with Aaron Carter.
Oh,
that I remember.
Maybe
I remember. Like, I remember Aaron Carter when he was really little, and of course Nick being his brother. I saw this kid all the time, and then he had his own hits as a child. I remember him doing an autograph session one time. I think it was at Fairview Mall, and we were all going to go play baseball. Where were we going to go play baseball? Where was it? Man, it was at a college or a university or something. Anyway, we were going to go play on the diamonds there, and everybody had ball gloves, but he was upset that he couldn't leave his autograph session because we were going to play baseball. So they were going to have to bring him after the fact so he could come on and play baseball with us. Where was it? Oh, my God. I wish I could remember now. It was at – I can't. It's just eluding me.
It was at some bowling alley. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, because the baseball.
No, we were not playing.
I don't know anything about sports.
No. Quite obviously. so this whole COVID thing with no sports is killing you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So sad I can't watch the game.
Is it difficult for you? Do you have a favorite sport, Tarzan?
Oh, I love hockey. I still play hockey to this day. I love hockey. I'm a Leafs fan. I'm a hockey fan because I've lived in so many cities across Canada. Now living in Calgary, I still am a Flames fan, but I'm a Leafs fan first. I'm a Canucks fan because I lived in Vancouver as well. So I definitely am a hockey fan. That's the way I see it. Because I'm also a Vegas Knights fan, and I like so many hockey teams. My favorite hockey player of all time was Ken Dryden, who played for the Montreal Canadiens. And here, you want to hear it? Here's an interesting story that I'll throw at you.
Sure.
Why I've always taken the time to say hi back. And I know that everybody has a bad day from time to time, and there are going to be I remember one time this guy posted underneath something that I posted and said, Tarzan Dan was a jerk when I met him, and I was just like, I wrote him back and I said, you know what, I was probably having a bad day. I'm really sorry, because that's just not me, but we all have days. So, but this was one of the stories. When I was a little kid, Ken Dryden was playing for the Montreal Canadiens. And I sent him a letter, poured my heart out. I was, 11 years old, 10 years old? I just wanted his autograph. So I sent it to the Montreal Canadiens, and what I got was a cardboard picture of Ken Dryden that had been multi-produced that was not his actual autograph. It was something that had been reproduced. So years later, I'm doing my show at Kiss 92 in Toronto, and Gord Stellick is over on the sports station, and he comes in and goes, you're never going to believe who's sitting in the chair in my room. You need to come and meet Ken Dryden. I'm like, oh! So I get out of my studio, I run down the hall, I'm so excited, and they're live on the radio at this point, and Gord says, hey, I want to introduce you to somebody who really wants to meet you. And I go in and I meet Ken Dryden, and I go, hi, how's it going? Oh, my God, this is so good. And he knew me from TV, which was so weird, right? That anybody like that, of that stature, that somebody that I idolized when I was a kid, was so amazing. So anyway, so the thing is that Ken Dryden says, it's so cool. I listen to you on the radio. This is so. And I said, I have a bone to pick with you. And his face changes, it's like, what? And I said, do you realize that there's a kid that wrote you back in blah, blah? And I said, and I have it, and I actually had a picture of it in my phone, and I said, this is what you sent me. And he goes, oh my God. And I said, today we are taking a picture together, and you're going to sign me an autograph. And he doesn't usually sign autographs. So anyway, so he was kind enough to sign an autograph for me. And then it was funny. Years later, I run into him here in Calgary, and I can't remember who he was with. It was somebody pretty important, and he actually introduced me as Tarzan Dan. And he says, "Here is the reason you always are nice to everybody, because you never know who you're talking to or who they'll become." And that always stuck with me, because here we are years later. And he told the story to this guy, and he says he wrote me when he was a kid, and I had to make good later. And so, like, perfect example is years later, for instance, for me, I meet Nelly Furtado and had no idea that the kid that was named Nelly that was writing me from the island, from Nanaimo, was Nelly Furtado, but she was a kid. And she wanted to win the crisscross skateboard, jump around, jump, jump, jump. And so anyway, but after all these years, to talk to Avril Lavigne or Rain Maida, who I interviewed just before Christmas and for the radio here, and we reminisced about all kinds of stuff. And he said he had always loved Madonna, and so that's why he watched the hit list. And I mean, you wouldn't think that from Our Lady Peace and Rain Maida, right? So it's really cool to see that there's some kind of connection, and that people grew up with this awesome feeling of loving what we did, and just the connections we had with these people. To this day, so many are still friends. And I mean, like, I remember when one of the funny stories is I was here in Calgary, Collective Soul were in town, Ed Roland, who's the lead singer.
Oh,
I had his phone number in my phone.
I almost queued up their picture before, and then I got cold feet because I'm like, we're going to be talking Backstreet now, and I got to cue their. Please, Collective Soul, collect yourself. Tell this story. Sorry about that.
Okay. So, no. So like, it's so weird because in my phone, I have a phone number because, when you transfer your phone stuff over. So I had Ed's phone number in my phone, but it's like I haven't talked to him in like 10, 12 years. And so sure enough, don't you know, I get my phone's ringing as I get off the radio, and it says Ed Roland. I'm like, what rock star still has the same phone number 12 years ago, or 12 years later rather? And so I answer the phone and go, "Hello, Ed?" And he goes, "Dan?" And I'm like, "No way!" And so anyways, he goes, "Are you coming to the show tonight?" I was like, "Well, of course we're coming to the show, but I already have tickets. I don't need you to help me." And he goes, "Well, I know a guy that might be in the band, and he might be able to help you get better tickets." And so anyway, so they took care of us. And one of the coolest things is he goes, "You know what? I want you to come backstage afterwards, but more so, I want you to come earlier by an hour. Come to the show early so we can just hang out and, kick around all these stories that we haven't told, or we haven't heard stuff, about family and friends, and get caught up." And I just thought, wow, like, still rock star, still relevant, still playing, still making music. And he just picked up the phone and called and said, "Are you coming?" And I was like, "I didn't even know you knew I was in Calgary." So it's been a really cool career, and then it still continues to be an awesome career all these years later. And I feel very fortunate, very, very fortunate that I get to do what I love every day, and get up and be stupid on the radio and make a living at it, and with what we're going through right now, I know that, it's not easy for a lot of us. We're all sitting around at home. Our pets are our best friends. By the way, all pets think they won the lottery right now, right?
Oh,
Can we
isn't that
decide
nice?
that right now? Yeah, it's like, and my cats are finally at a point where I think they're sick and tired of me, and they're like, "You know what? I want a shed on the furniture. I want a shed on. I don't want you sitting on it. So could you leave?" And so they're happy when I have to come to the radio station. But I think as we go through this, we're all different parts of a bigger puzzle. And so for me, when we get on the radio, sure, we're going to be informative, but at the same time, we're going to be entertaining. And we're going to be keeping you company, and you're keeping us company. So if you ever want to, and this is an open invitation, if you want to listen to the radio in the afternoon when you're sitting around at home or whatever, you're more than welcome to go to q107fm.ca. And it's Calgary time, so that's Mountain Time. Vancouver is 1 hour behind us, and Toronto is 2 hours in front of us. So if it's 6 o'clock in Toronto, it'll be 4 o'clock here in Calgary. And I'm on 2 in the afternoon until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. So you're welcome to tune in online, or you can go and get the Canadian Radio Player app and just in the search engine put Q107 Calgary, and you'll be able to find me. You can listen to the show online, and I still am the same person. Nothing's changed. I'm not as insane, but I'm still nuts.
Oh man, I can't imagine. Dan, you gotta go. You have told us you had a limited amount of time, and we want to respect that amount of time. But right before you go, 2 things. Number one, I screwed up. Apparently, it was Nick Carter you drove with right after he got his license.
Nick, yes, and he had a new truck. And it was awesome. Aaron was in the car, and I think we wanted to tie him to the tow hitch, actually, because he was a bit irritating at that time.
Oh, I bet it.
I might have been doing everybody a favor on that day. But anyways, no, we, I remember that. We ended up going to the studio, and I rode in his car, and AJ had a really crappy BMW. No, it wasn't terrible. It was okay, but it was like so excited that he had bought a BMW with one of his first checks. So yeah, no, I remember that, and it was pretty sure it was black. It was a black pickup truck that Nick got.
You got a great memory, Dan. I can't remember what I ate yesterday. That's pretty amazing. And Dan, one last thing.
Yes, sir.
Just before you go, you win for multiple reasons, but the main reason why I want to win is just this little photo of right here, right now, of you and a Spice Girl, and that is her lipstick on your head.
Which one is it?
It is Melanie B.
Okay,
Scary Spice.
But that is not her lipstick.
Oh, no?
So I'm going to give you a chance. No, I am going to give you an opportunity now to choose from the 5 or the 4 left which kissed my head.
Oh, I want to raise my hand.
And I still lost my mind. Okay, raise your hand.
Okay, all right. Nesbitt, which one do you think it is?
1,100,000,000% Jerry Halliwell.
You know what?
Yes?
I know that you're raising your hand in general all the time, so because you're a puppet. Yes. But at the same time, you're wrong. You're wrong. My. So now we have 3 left.
Okay. So let's figure this out. The mystery. Everybody on the internet, who do you think it was? Karen Dryce says Posh. Mark Fabrizi says Ginger. We just figured that's not out. Karen Dryce also said Victoria. Was it Posh? Was it Baby? Let's figure this out.
How many people? Okay, ready? I'm gonna tell you. Do you want me to tell you, like straight up tell you, or do you want me to keep it a secret?
I want to respect your boundaries.
I want to reveal the
news.
No. Yes.
I'll be totally happy to tell you.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so
who is it?
During the backstage footage, which I now have, and I will release because I have the behind the scenes Spice Girls interview. Okay.
I've known you for 3 years. Please do it. Come on, please.
It was Victoria who leaned over and kissed my head. Yep, Posh Spice. So David Beckham, take that. No, I'm just kidding. But
David Beckham's going to want to have
way before
words.
David Beckham.
That's amazing, Dan.
Wow.
So it didn't suck, that's for sure. Anyway,
all right, thanks so much for calling up, Dan. We are living in a weird situation, and all my old I hope I can consider you a friend. I consider you one.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for taking your time to cheer your fans up, because this is what this whole thing's about. It's you, me, and YTV, but the you comes first, and everyone in the audience, this is for you. We are all living in a weird situation, and this is to cheer us all up, because we got enough news that is bad. Let's have some news that is good. So, Dan, I would like to personally thank you for taking your time to cheer up everybody, because this is amazing. You're an icon. You're a legend, sir. And I heard the Backstreet Boys for the first time because of you.
Absolutely. Same here.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you know what? I appreciate that. I don't even know how to react to that, because I'm blushing through my body. But what I do want to say is, take care of yourselves, people. We will come out on the other side of this. Hopefully we'll be better people because of it. be kind to each other and be kind to other people. Have a little bit more patience. I'm the worst for it because I'm like, just get on with it. But literally, that's, I think, one of the things that we have to learn. And you know what? Be gracious, be nice, be friendly. Don't get into scraps online. That's stupid. Okay, that's dumb. And take care of yourselves. And we will see you on the other side of this. And feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram at Tarzan Dan. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Dan.
Edmund.
Thank you so much, Tarzan Dan. You are an institution.
I should be institutionalized. Is what you're really saying. I know.
All right. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody. We will see you guys next week. And I'm happy to say, Dan, have you ever heard of a book series called Goosebumps?
Yeah, of course I have.
Well,
it was a great series on YTV.
Well, R.L. Stine was the author of it. Could not get a hold of R.L. Stine because, well, I don't know him. But through some luck and through some resources, I have contacted the guy who drew every single book cover of Goosebumps, except out of 62 books. 60 books with this one particular artist, and he's going to be on the show next week. So I'm so excited and happy to talk to that man. Thank you, Dan, for coming by. Everybody, follow, share.
Thanks, everybody.
Follow Dan. Follow me. Follow You, Me, and YTV. Let's get this out there. It's been a while. Let's have some fun.
Thank you for being here. Such a YTV heavyweight on the show.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we are new to the gear and the information stuff like that, so we're just making sure that everything turned off all right. We don't know how to use the gear yet, but I am ending the broadcast right now and making sure that everything is cool and kosher. So see you next week. Making sure you check it out. We are going to be live with the gentleman who drew all the Goosebump book covers, 60 out of 62, some of the most iconic images you've ever seen in a haunted mask. It's going to be amazing. Thank you so much for watching. This has been weird. All right, bye.